10th anniversary power creep is here, but should you summon for Tech LR Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the LR Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and his double raids banner, and answering that age-old question: should you summon for this unit? As always, in order to answer that question, we will look at three major categories. Number one, the unit itself. Is the unit good enough to justify a summon on the banner? Number two, we'll make some predictions and determine whether or not said banner is worth your stones. Is there anything on that banner that, should you choose to summon on, is worth walking away with? And then finally, we will take a quick look at what lies ahead. We are in full synchro, and so at this point, we can no longer use that good old global foresight. So the best we can do is make some predictions based on the last bit of known things we have and determine, is it worth our stones? Whatever we summon on Gotenks, is it worth what we might be giving up in the near future? After all, we are in that full anniversary savings mode at this point, with it being just over a month away. So let's go ahead, let's hop on in to the Gotenks. Let's take a look at what he's doing. So as a Carnival LR, he is tech type, and he is leading Majin Buu Saga for Key 3, HP attack defense 200%. On his 18 key, he's greatly raising attack and defense for the turn and lowering defense. On his 12 key, he is just greatly raising attack and defense for the turn. His passive is wild. It is getting key 7, attack and defense 200%, plus an additional 77% when receiving an attack. And after receiving an attack, he also has an additional 77% attack within the same turn. He reduces damage received by 22% for 5 turns from his entry turn. He also has an additional 77% and reduces damage received by 33% when there's another final trump card ally. He randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres. He gets an additional key 1 per key sphere and an additional attack and defense 100% when key 12 or more key. He also has an additional 77% and launches an additional super attack when key is 18 or more. He also has an additional attack 77% and performs a critical hit when activating the active skill or when key is 24. He has a high chance of additional 777% defense within the same turn when receiving a super attack, and reduces damage received by 44% temporarily and counters with ferocious power when receiving a key blast super attack. So this guy's offense can shoot up quite tremendously when performing a super attack, to the point where he is rivaling some of the more powerful units in the game. Defensively, slot 1, he can be a little bit lacking, but post super, we're talking about a unit that can easily hit 3 million defense and more. If his 777% procs, we're talking over 15 million defense when receiving a super attack. So he can be wildly defensive and also offensive. He's doing a little bit of everything, and he's only going to get better as his condition requires final trump card, a condition that allows him to link with some of the best units in the game, right? The blue fusions link really well with him, and right now they are buffed, which means he's linking really well with them. The Teq Gogeta, the Fizz Gogeta, and any possible Gogeta that might release during the anniversary, he's going to link really well with. So great unit. In fact, I would say the unit is worth the summon. If you jump into that double rates banner, that's a 1 in the category for summon. You have won Dokkan battle for the year. He is probably one of the best Carnival LRs released this year, next to the Lr Teq Broly, of course. So, of course, though, that unit does not exist in a vacuum. He exists on a banner, and we got to kind of figure out what that banner is going to be. So, we do know that there will be 2 separate banners for Jiren and Gotenks. We will talk about Jiren separately. We're not really going to focus the should you summon on him. At this point, we've kind of talked him to death. So the focus here is on Gotenks. So the Gotenks' banner will be separate. However, I do think that his banner will mimic Jiren's here. Assume we replace Jiren here with Gotenks, we will probably see these guys here all the same suspects here, with this being AGL Ultimate Gohan, and then these guys being relevant sub-EZAs to Gotenks. Like I could see there is data showing that the this guy here, the Teq Goten, is possibly getting a sub-EZA because his sticker effect was in the data. So he will probably be on the banner, and then, you know, other relevant Majin Buu Saga sub-EZAs will be on there. But don't expect too much. The banner's not going to be that great. Jiren's banner wasn't that great. Most double rates banners aren't that great. In fact, the only thing going for them is the double rate. So knowing that, unfortunately, I can't give the banner my thumbs up. It's just not a good banner, realistically. The only good thing on it is going to be Gotenks. No matter which Carnival LR they put here, it's not really going to be something that, like, oh, congratulations, you got a really good unit. It's just going to be like, hey, another unit to fill your box. So unfortunately, nothing too stellar on the banner, so no go there. So we've got one for the summon on the unit, but none for the banner. So all that leaves is to look at what lies ahead. So of course, in the immediate section, right, we do have the fully unified Celebration Dragon Carnival. There will be a second double rates banner that will have Jiren. Now, Jiren's banner is probably going to be a little bit better than the Gotenks because it does seem to be named, and we do know of certain LR units that are meant to be returning sometime soon. Now, that could be on the Christmas banner, or it could be on this banner here. Either way, same situation as Gotenks. Probably not a huge major summon unless you have the stones to spend. Otherwise, right, we don't really know what's coming next. We know there will be a New Year's Dokkan festival, but seeing as, you know, it will probably have the traditional New Year's banner setup since it's likely to not be LRs. No matter what it is, even if it's Daima Goku, right, it's going to be the same setup, right? Previous New Year's units, previous Golden Week units, and then one Dokkan Fest released from the past year. So it's not going to be nothing crazy. It's definitely going to be a big no summon for that, as is at this point you should be saving for the anniversary. But the big thing that people should be looking at is, of course, the New Year's Step Up. All right, the New Year's Step Up, we've talked this thing to death, is a 200 stone set of steps that will guarantee you one of each of these category of characters throughout each of the steps. It costs you 200 stones total to do a full step, and last year they did split it to Super and Extreme, and I'm going to assume they're going to do the same again. The basic format is that the first 20 stones will net you an EZA category leader. I could see this step including Super EZAs this year. The second step will include an EZA Yellow Coin LR, right? So this is going to include quite a few good units like the Broly Trio. I mean, all these guys will probably still be here too. On the Superclass side of things, we're talking like the Krillin and Gohan. We're talking like the 17 and Universe 7, the Frisian 17. Over here, Lr Teq Broly. Like, it's just a good step, right? The third step is for 50 stones again, and then it's a previous Dokkan Fest plus a banner unit, Extreme and Super, from the previous year. So this will be the year of World Tournament Goku, the Super Trunks, of the androids, etc. The next one is Yellow Coin LRs. Last year it was up to Bulma and AGL Buu, which means that this year it should be up to AGL Gohan, and actually I think AGL Buu is still the most, no, Cell Max. All right, so up to Cell Max here. They could take it a step further and make this Lr Teq Gohan and Piccolo, but that might be pushing it. And then the final one is a guaranteed LR, right, or a potential guaranteed LR with a banner unit and one of the previous Dokkan Fests, right, for this year, right? So we could see this will have Topo, this will have Teq Vegeta, this will have AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and then Teq Vegito. On the extreme side, right, we'll have Int Buu, we'll have First Form Frieza, possibly AGL Vegeta, And then, of course, Tech LR's Moss. Really, really good steps. If you are a new player, you should be prioritizing summoning on this at a minimum, at least 1 round for 200 stones. Because, you know, if you're approaching the 10th anniversary, you do want to make sure you have a box that can actually complete said fights that are coming during the 10th anniversary. So, New Year's Step Up always helps with that. So, knowing what lies ahead, I still can't make a good recommendation, yes or no, you should summon, right? This, because it's box dependent. If you are a veteran player who has most of this, then you're not going to be summoning on the New Year's Step Up, but newer players definitely will. So I think what I'm going to need to do is tier the recommendation for this Gotenks, right? So we do know that the anniversary banners will have the pity system, right? The 2,500 stones for 500 coins that can be traded for any of the 4 anniversary units, right? Most free-to-play players will be walking away with at least 1 unit if you enter the anniversary with at least 1,000 to 1,500 stones. So knowing that, I would say that if you are between 1,000 and 1,500 stones, then spend no more than 300 stones on this banner. That will allow you enough stones to recover during January, which should give around 400 to 500 stones, so you can recover whatever you spent here. If you are between 800 and 1,000, I would say spend no more than 200 stones, again for the same reasons, because in the month of January, you'll be able to use the 400 to 500 stones to recover. If you are 500 to 800, I would say no more than 150. You need to save, you need to grind, you need to do whatever you can to get yourself to at least 1,000 stones by anniversary. The anniversary will give 1,000 or more stones total, so the more you enter with, the more likely it is you'll be able to pull one of the anniversary units, if not get them on the pity system. And then finally, if you are anything below 500, steer clear of this banner. Double rates is tempting, but you do not have enough to be wasting as you're getting close to the anniversary. So I would definitely recommend 500 or lower, steer clear. Again, tiered 500 to 800, no more than 150. 800 to 1,000, no more than 200. And 1,000 to 1,500, no more than 300. Again, Gotenks is probably number 1, number 2 unit. He's up there, but knowing that we have to save for the anniversary, you have to be very careful of where you spend stones. Now, it is worth noting that in the data, we do have tickets for the Gotenks banner, but not the Jiren banner. Jiren's banner is labeled specifically as the fully unified Dragon Carnival, which is not what these tickets are listed at. So if you are pay to play, low to play, you can definitely use your tickets to pick up to try to summon for Gotenks, and I would recommend you doing that so you can save as much stones as you can. Unfortunately, that does mean Jiren is kind of out of luck in that regard. We'll talk again separately a little bit about how Jiren's been handled, but the should you summon here is mostly focused on Gotenks. So again, that is my recommendation, tiered recommendation for Gotenks. It really depends on your box. If you can swing trying to pull for him, then do so. If not, try to continue to save. So guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, will you be summoning for Lr Teq Carnival Gotenks? Let us know in the comments down below. Really curious to see who's actually going to try to pull for him. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching and aloha.